So today we are distributing free marks for JAMB UTME 2026 for chemistry. As you are taking this lecture, do not forget to make your notes. Take your pen, take your paper, jot down what you understand during this lecture. And after the lecture, you carry out your revision. Do not forget to enable the full screen view by tapping on the icon located at this place that I'm hovering my mouse to enjoy the maximum viewers experience. Now, the JAMB repeated question 1. The question reads, a student collects a gas over water in a laboratory. When a glowing splint is inserted into the gas, it relights. Which gas is most likely collected? A. Hydrogen. B. Oxygen. C. Carbon dioxide. D. Nitrogen. What's the answer? Let's find out. You must come across this question in your JAMB UTME 2026. There is 99% chance that you are going to see questions from gas tests and also metallic flame colors when they burn. So when metals are burned, what color of flame is generated? Let's find out the answer to this question. Hydrogen. So let's look at the gas test for most gas in chemistry. The first gas here is hydrogen, and the test for hydrogen is a pop test with a burning splint. What is the observation? It produces a pop sound. Pop, 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 pop. That's for the hydrogen. The second we have here is oxygen/nitrogen 1 oxide. So oxygen and nitrogen 1 oxide have the same behavior when it comes to the splint test. Okay, so the test used to detect oxygen, the presence of oxygen or nitrogen 1 oxide, is the splint test. And what is the observation? Both gases relight a glowing splint. The next we have here is carbon dioxide or carbon 4 oxide. And the test used for the detection of carbon 4 oxide is the lime water test. And what is the observation? It turns lime water milky. And what is lime water? Calcium hydroxide solution. It turns lime water milky. So when there is presence of carbon 4 oxide, lime water turns milky. That confirms the presence of carbon 4 oxide. The next gas we have here is ammonia. And ammonia gas is an alkaline gas which turns damp red litmus paper blue. What is the observation? Turning damp red litmus paper blue, and it also has a pungent smell. The next we have here is chlorine gas. What is the observation? The observation of chlorine gas, chlorine bleaches the damp litmus paper, greenish yellowish gas. So the chlorine bleaches damp litmus paper, it bleaches it, and also it's a greenish yellow gas. That's the color of chlorine. Physical observation. The next we have here is hydrogen chloride gas, and the hydrogen chloride gas, what is the observation? Remember, it's an acidic gas. It turns blue litmus paper red. Dense fume in air. So it also forms dense fumes in air. Dense fume in air and turning blue litmus paper red. The next we have here is sulfur dioxide. And sulfur dioxide, on observation, it turns acidified potassium dichromate from orange to green. It also has a suffocating smell. Okay, so turning a potassium dichromate from orange to green, it shows that this is a reducing gas. Acidified potassium dichromate oxidizes this gas. Okay, so during the process, potassium dichromate gets reduced, so it changes from orange color to greenish color, confirming the reduction of potassium dichromate. And sulfur 4 oxide getting oxidized. So that is the confirmation of the presence of sulfur 4 oxide, turning potassium dichromate from orange to green. The next we have here is hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide gas, what is the observation? It produces a black precipitate with lead 2 ion. So when hydrogen disulfide is bubbling into a solution of lead tetrazosulfate 6, a black precipitate of lead sulfide is formed, and that is as a result of the presence of lead 2 ion. So the presence of this black precipitate confirms the presence of hydrogen sulfide gas. With this, we have come to the end of common gas tests. Let's look at metallic ions and the color of their flames next. Metallic ions and their flame color. The first we have here is sodium. It burns with a yellow color. Yellow. Have that in mind. Take note of the color coding. The next we have here is potassium, and it burns with a what? A lilac/light purple flame. Take note of the color codings. The third we have here is calcium and burns with an orange-red flame. The next we have here is copper, and it burns with a blue-green flame. The next we have here is barium, and it burns in a green flame. The next we have here is lithium, and it burns in a crescent flame. And that's that for that. Having understood the test for common gases and metallic flames and their colors during combustion, let's go back to the JAMB repeated question 1. JAMB repeated question 1. A student collects a gas over water in the laboratory. When a glowing splint is inserted into the gas, it relights. Which gas is most likely collected? A. Hydrogen. Hydrogen is not the answer. C. Carbon 4 oxide. Carbon 4 oxide is not the answer. D. Nitrogen. Nitrogen is not the answer. All for your correct option. B. Oxygen. Oxygen is the answer because oxygen relights a glowing splint. The glowing splint test is the test for oxygen, while relighting or rekindling of the glowing splint confirms the presence of oxygen. Do not also forget that nitrogen 1 oxide also has the same property of rekindling or relighting a glowing splint, just like oxygen. Thank you so much for taking this lecture. Do not forget to subscribe and follow for more at Nkwado Augustine across all social media platforms. Do you want a copy of this lecture notes? Indicate in the comment section and I will send a copy of this lecture notes to you as soon as I come across your comments. At this point, I'm out. Peace!